Greetings, and thank you for your interest in this presentation. My name is Fraser Riehle. I'm an associate professor and librarian within the Teaching Partnerships Unit at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln Libraries, where as part of my role since 2017, I've supported affordable content initiatives on my campus, along with colleagues from the libraries, academic technologies, and UNL Center for Transformative Teaching. If you're interested in content analysis, Libguides, or other online resources or communication pieces on open educational resources, and/or you found yourself tasked with creating or updating an information resource and feel unsure about where and how to get started, I hope you'll discover within this brief talk some useful food for thought. When a former OER librarian colleague left my institution several years ago, I inherited stewardship responsibilities for an OER guide geared toward instructors and published on SpringShare's Libguides platform, which is a popular tool in libraries used for designing and publishing online guides for instructors and students. Although this OER LibGuide is a widely visible resource for those interested in or working with OER on my campus, the work to maintain and update it was backburnered for years, until my recent participation in a Spark program provided an ideal opportunity to tackle it at last. As a fellow in the 2021-2022 Spark Open Education Leadership Program, I was tasked with completing a capstone project to culminate the experience. My project involved development of a phased approach in support of work at the UNL libraries related to open and affordable, including 1, components of a strategic action plan, and 2, a content analysis of selected OER LibGuides. This talk, of course, focuses on the second component, an analysis that would guide, update, and revision of a published OER LibGuide, a key OER information and communication piece on my campus. I began by doing some reading and was delighted to discover and read 7 pieces documenting content analyses of LibGuides in particular. I also read a couple of pieces focusing on content analysis approach and methodology more broadly. You'll find full citations for all of these in a slide at the end of my talk. My reading, especially a case study by Carnero and Johnson and a 2014 analysis of engineering LibGuides, informed my approach. At the recommendation of my fantastic Spark program mentor, I created and used an Airtable base for my data collection and analysis. Airtable allows for user-friendly data entry, including images of screenshots within records, as well as tagging and relational capabilities that I hope to more fully realize when I expand upon this initial analysis. I published on Airtable Universe a base template that I developed, including information about how I used it, as well as my initial findings, for anyone who might benefit from or build upon this work. My initial sample encompassed 24 institutions, including 18 peer institutions and 6 additional exemplar institutions not included in the peer sample. The exemplar institutions included 3 community colleges and 3 additional universities with relatively long-standing OER or affordable content programs. Of the 24 institutions included in my initial sample, 6 peer institutions and 1 exemplar institution did not have published LibGuides focused on OER or affordable content. Thus, I ended up analyzing 17 LibGuides in total. For this initial analysis, I analyzed within LibGuides the topical focus of top-tier pages. That is, pages that would appear within the home page's navigation, either at the top or the side, to determine which OER topics are most frequently prioritized at this level. To develop the initial codes for analysis, I first captured full screenshots of each guide's homepage and listed each guide's page titles verbatim. From the initial scan, I selected 9 codes, which I applied to another round of analysis for each of the 17 LibGuides. This chart visualizes the frequency of topics, ranging from open pedagogy, which I coded as a topic for a top-tier page on one guide, to find OER, which I coded as a topic for a top-tier page on all 17 guides that I analyzed. This work is really just a preliminary analysis. There are many opportunities to build upon it. First, my initial analysis revealed 2 additional codes that I would consider including for another round of analysis. I noted content related to OER advocacy and accessibility in some of the guides I analyzed. And by the end of this analysis, I was quite curious about how often these topics appeared at various levels within the guides. Second, this analysis could benefit from including additional institutions within the sample. For example, one might consider developing criteria for adding additional exemplar institutions for analysis, or opt for a random sample among the many OER libguides that are in existence. Third, 10 of the 24 institutions included in my initial sample had published OER affordable content websites not on the Libguides platform, in addition to or in lieu of a LibGuide. While these sites were out of the scope for my analysis, many featured the sorts of topics for which I coded. An expansion of this work could focus on institutions' OER and affordable content websites more broadly, including but not limited to those published on the Libguides platform. Finally, this analysis explored top-tier pages only, and it didn't analyze subpages content or content at the box level within pages. Coding of subpages, boxes within pages, and analysis of the most popular shared videos, links, etc., could provide additional guidance for community members creating or revising resources about OER and affordable content. Insight gleaned from this analysis has enabled me to confidently move forward with my OER LibGuide updates and redesign at last, which I'm currently integrating into other key communication pieces at our organization, including a chapter on OER within an affordable content faculty guide created in Pressbooks. My findings most significantly helped me tackle overwhelm so that I could focus, organize, and select content in an intentional way with the benefit of having at my fingertips a collection of excellent guides from which I could adapt. Many thanks to the folks at Spark for the opportunity to participate in and learn and grow from the Open Education Leadership Program, and to Amanda Larson in particular, my project mentor, who showered me with encouragement, advice, and truly excellent feedback and ideas for this work. Thank you again for your interest and for the time that you invested in watching this presentation. Please reach out if you'd like to connect, share ideas or feedback, or hear more about this work.